There are 19 decks left on the wheel. Let's go ahead and spin and see what deck comes up in the first league of the day. We're playing Death's Shadow. So this is Death's Shadow. Usually it's in the Grixis colors, built around the card Death's Shadow, of course, but you also have other win conditions. Ragavan, DRC, Orcish Bowmasters now because of course. And then these lists are either running Murktide or Underworld Breach. This version's running Breach. Typical Grixis Mana Base, Bauble, Spell Pierce, Expressive Iteration, Drown in the Lock, 3 Orcish Bowmasters, 3 Bolt, 3 Heat. Sideboard Gigantha, Kolaghan's Command Terminate, Torok, Flusterstorm, Dress Down, Mystical Dispute, Hearse, EE, and Chalice of the Void. So, let's jump into the first league with Death's Shadow. Round 1 on the play with Death's Shadow. Reveal Gigantha. Alright, Bolt Thoughtseize, Expressive Bowmasters, 3 lands, looks good. Opponent also revealed Gigantha. Multi 6. Alright, let's just go Shock Watery Grave, Thoughtseize. Alright, what are we playing against? We're playing against Jund. What do I care about here? Let's see. I don't really care if they have Heat. Ragavan I can just Bolt. Tarmogoyf maybe can get out of Bolt range, so maybe I just take Tarmogoyf. Bowmasters, we're just going to trade. Yeah, I'll take... So, if I take Ragavan, it denies them a turn 1 play at least. But I'm not doing anything on turn 2 besides just killing I'm killing Ragavan with the Bowmasters anyway, so let's take Goyf and pass. Yeah, so the Ragavan doesn't matter because I can just Bowmasters it. And then they Bowmasters our Bowmasters back. Yeah, Stomping Ground, Ragavan. We drew our Ragavan, so let's go ahead and Shock. It was between Goyf and the Bowmasters. I just figured this could probably get out of Bolt range. So, pass it back. Wooded Foothills. And then combat, Wolf Bowmasters, kill Ragavan off. Then they fetch, shocking in a Blood Crypt. What up, Mr. Robot? A beep and a boop to you, sir. Alright, they're Bowmasters, then our Bowmasters dies. And then they have Heat, 2 unknowns. Ooh, Death Shadow. We're at 14 life. So let's go Expressive and then Bolt the Bowmasters in all likelihood. Alright, Expressive. Alright, Shadow into my hand. Swamp on the bottom, Bloodstained in Exile. Then play the Bloodstained Mire. And then I'll just pass. Yeah, let's just pass. Urza's Saga, so it's Jund's Saga. Okay. All right, let's just block here. So, block. All right, end step, fetch and shock a Blood Crypt. Bolt the Bowmasters. All right, so we can get our shadows to be 5/5s. Then they're not delirious. They will be delirious when they get Urza's Saga online. Ooh, a Bowmasters. So let's see, I can go Bloodstained Mire. And then, so these are 2/2s right now. Yeah, let's just go Shadow. And then do I just play Ragavan? Yeah, fetch in response. Grab a Blood Crypt. Shock it in. So now Heat will fizzle out. I'm probably just passing with Bowmasters up. In fact, I can even shoot myself to grow my shadows larger. This opponent has 3 unknowns. Alright, Bowmasters. I'm going to target me. Bowmasters back. Alright. They kill our Bowmasters. Ooh, we have another Bowmasters. So Bowmasters again. Alright, we've won the game. Sideboarding. What the heck do I want here? We're probably trading resources a lot. I definitely want Terminate for their guys. They're playing Urza's Saga and Artifact, so Kolaghan's Command's probably good. Dress Down for the Karnstruct tokens. EE can kill Karnstructs or any of their other 2-drops or something. Mystical Dispute, not so good. Spell Pierce. They have a lot of creatures and all their spells are pretty cheap, right? So probably not so great. Hearse is probably good for shrinking their Unholy Heats and Tarmogoyfs. What else to cut? Ragavan in the Bowmasters meta can go, especially on the draw. So that's probably fine. Do I want to put Torok in for anything? I don't think so. Alright, so let's run that. Game 2 on the draw. Shadow versus Jund Saga. Reveal Gigantha. Only 1 land with Thoughtseize. Probably not keepable. Yeah, not keepable. No lands. Not keepable. Alright, keep this. Put back Bauble and what else? So they're going to do something on turn 1, and then our turn 1 is going to be Thoughtseize them. So I probably want Drown more than Terminate. Alright, done. Overgrown Tomb. Shocked in. They Inquisition us. And take EI. Bauble. And then they Bauble on upkeep. Alright, fetch. Let's go grab Blood Crypt. No, let's grab... So let's see, Blood Crypt and then Watery Grave. Yeah, okay, so... I guess let's just get Watery Grave first. Shock that in. Thoughtseize. Their hand is just Ragavan, 2 Sagas. That might actually be rough to deal with. And then they draw off a Bauble and draw another card for the turn. So now they can just play Sagas and just hide behind the Sagas for the game. And we drew a land. Alright, Mire, go. And now they don't have to do anything other than just make Karnstruct. Okay, so we do have to find Dress Down or something as an out pretty soon. Shocks and a Blood Crypt. All right, since I don't know if I'm going to be able to stabilize at this point, I'm just not going to fetch until I know that I need to. Ooh, Kolaghan's Command. All right, so shock this in. What am I doing with this? It's just going to be Shatter, discard a card, or Shatter, shock the other one. What are they getting off of it? Probably what? Nile Spellbomb or Shadow Spear? They make a Construct, and then make another Construct. All right, so I need to fetch now in case they get Pithing Needle. So we need to grab probably the other Blood Crypt. But we have double Drown in our hand, so maybe that's not correct. Maybe just Steam Vents, even it all out. All right, shock and Steam Vents. And then I'll see what they get with the fetch. Another Construct. Okay, it is Nile Spellbomb. Urza's Saga, the second. All right, so let's just Shatter, Nile Spellbomb, and shock this. So Kolaghan's Command, destroy, shock, destroy artifact, shock here. And then they can pop Spellbomb, but then they don't get to draw a card off of it. Then that dies. All right, well, we're just not drawing really anything, so let's just pass the turn. So they have Foothills, bunch of unknown cards, and they're going to keep making Constructs. And just trading Drown on the Lock for Construct seems pretty bad, but I might just have to this turn. They're playing, okay, they're just immediately making a Construct. Let's see if they attack. All right, I guess I just have to kill this, because without any other action in my hand, I can't afford to just wait around. All right, let's fetch and let's not shock. Let's get Blood Crypt tapped. Well, we just keep drawing lands, so let's go Delta and let's get Giganta into the hand and pass. Opponent fetches, Stomping Ground, then Urza's Saga. All right, fetch. Let's just get the base Swamp for the least damage. All right, make another Construct. What do they fetch this time? Mishra's Research Desk. They have a third Saga. All right, unfortunately I have to kill that. There's Goyf, another land. So if they have any removal, this is a problem, but what can you do? Let's get the lands out of our deck. Go. They also can just attack with Goyf and I can't even block them. So there's that. Fetch with Foothills. All right, they just have Terminate. So that's the game. How did I forget the most important rule of Jund Mirrors is take out Hand Disruption. So that's back in, and that is probably all fine. All right, submit. On the play for game 3, reveal Giganta. All right, we've got a Shadow, we've got a bunch of removal. I will keep. So I probably want to fetch Watery Grave with that. So let's just shock this in and pass. Maybe I'll get Steam Vents, I don't know. Inquisition, all right, so they're going to take our Shadow, or yeah, the Shadow, right? Because we have 4 removal. They're taking Drown in the lock. All right, there's Steam Vents. So this is 5, and then we go to, so 15, 13. If I bolt myself, I'm at 10, and this still dies to a bolt. All right, so just play a fetch land and pass. I want to get this out of bolt range. Oh, another Inquisition, or another Hand Disruption. Okay, so now we'll just take Shadow. Yep, there goes the Shadow. There's Urza's Saga. Well, we just keep drawing removal, so shock this in, fetch and shock, get Watery Grave, get Giganta, pass the turn. So the problem is we're in an attrition mirror, but they can just use their Sagas to generate threats. There's Kolaghan's Command. So I probably just, what? Shatter their Construct, bring Death Shadow back? All right, pass it back. Make another Construct, and they're fetching Nile Spellbomb. Well, too late to do that then. And they can draw off of it too. All right. So in that case, let's just do Shatter and discard. You discard, shatter this. They're discarding a land. And they do have Delirium, right? Land, sorcery, enchantment? No, they actually don't. All right, so there's Bowmasters. So I guess I just pass. Can't you kill both constructs with K command? I can, but I don't want, but it's not worth it to kill a 2/2. I would rather take a card out of their hand. All right, so we're going to Bowmasters here. And my attempt is going to be shoot this block with the token to trade. And if they have a Bowmasters to flash back or to kill our token, that's fine. So shoot this. Their own Bowmasters. All right. Shooting our Bowmasters. Okay. Can I still block this? Block here. They shock. And they play Renin 6. Yikes. So then they get Saga back. Yep. So let's see. I don't have to kill the Bowmasters. So if I shoot Renin 6 right now, I'm shooting one of these right now. I don't even have Delirium, and even if I did, they can just pop Nile Spellbomb. All right, we got to kill Renin 6 off. So heat the Renin 6, then take our turn. We're just not drawing anything. All right, heat Renin 6, and then I'm doing what? I'm playing this tapped and then bolting Bowmasters probably. All right, so they're gonna, oh, Thought sees us. I guess no matter which one they take, we can still just shoot the Bowmasters. So yeah, it resolves. They take Giganta. Urza's Saga. All right, I do actually want them to hit me just so I have the ability to play Shadows. So I'll go to 11. And then let's bolt this end of turn. I'm keeping Terminate in case they play Goyf. All right, back to us. There's Ragavan. So let's dash Ragavan. Combat. Swing. All right, what are we getting? Nothing. All right, end turn, bounce back to our hand. And now it can't attack anymore because they have this token and they're going to make a construct as well. Inquisition. I don't feel like terminating a 1/1, so sure, that resolves. All right, so they just don't attack. Well, no point in just keeping this in the hand anymore. Pass it back to them. And they make a construct, then they make another construct, then their construct's a 4/4. They're not possibly going to get Needle, right? Okay, I guess let's just fetch anyway. Steam Vent or Water Grave tapped. What is this? Shadow Spear? Okay. EE for 1. Equip Shadow Spear, 6/6. Okay, so if I block this 1/1, we're still dead next turn anyway, so yeah, sure, I'll go to 3. Underworld Breach doesn't work with Nile Spellbound in play. We are dead. All right, on to round 2. Round 2 on the play. Reveal Gigantha. I don't know why the companion screen is a different size every time. So this hand does only have 1 land in it, but it also has a Bauble, a Ragavan, and a Thoughtseize. So I will keep it. And Ragavan is the most high upside spell I could play. So let's Bauble them first to maybe see what they're playing. All right, Bauble, target them. Bring to light on top. All right, fetch Blood Crypt, play Ragavan, and go. Bauble, we draw Bolt. Flooded Strand. All right, well, let's see if this connects. Attack with Ragavan. Looks like it's going to connect. We get a treasure, and we exile Plains. All right, so yeah, let's just play Thoughtseize. Ooh, thank goodness. So we're taking their Wrenn and 6 100%. They do have a Leyline Binding to follow it up with. Yeah, all right, take Wrenn and 6. And then if I fetch and shock, I can play Death Shadow right now. Yeah, that's correct. So fetch, shock, get Steam Vents. Oh, I need to get black. Well, I can play it with the treasure anyway. All right, shock that in, play Death Shadow, and pass. They fetch. So they're going to get the Triome, and then the other land gets the other Triome, and then they could play a Leyline Binding. And then the only question is, which one are they going to target? So Heath. I'm probably not going to have good bolt targets, so I guess I'm just bolting them. All right, bolt you. Fetch, Breeding Pool, tapped, Leyline Binding. Are you hitting Ragavan or Shadow? Ragavan. All right, Bowmasters. Well, let's just cast Expressive. Okay, so I'm exiling the Bauble. So what do I want in my hand? I guess Spell Pierce. So Spell Pierce in hand, Bolt on the bottom, this one in exile, cast Bauble, Bauble them. They're drawing a ring, and then attack with the Death Shadow. Swing. Maybe it was correct to bolt myself, so this would be bigger. All right, Bauble trigger. We draw a land, which we do need. There's their island. All right, Tarn, fetch and shock. We have a swamp in hand, so I can just grab another Steam Vent. Shock, and then let's just attack with the Death Shadow. Do I Bowmasters myself? Okay, so let's say I Bowmasters myself. They take 5, and they go to 7, and then they're dead on the next attack. All right, swing. All right, Bowmasters, target me. And then take 5, go to 7, and then pass, Spell Pierce their ring. They fetch. If you bolt yourself, do you think they Binding the Shadow instead? That's possible, but then we still have a Ragavan in play, so that's fine. Verdict. They drew a Verdict. Wow. Okay. As their 1 draw. All right. Well, there's a Bowmasters, so... Okay, so let's say they play the ring, right? And then I'll go in response to the ring, shoot you, and then I can Spell Pierce the next thing they play, and then potentially kill them. I'm not doing anything this turn anyway, so pass. I just don't know, is it correct to Spell Pierce this ring or not? They have another ring is the issue. Yeah, so the problem is they have a second ring in their hand. So I think I just go Bowmasters in response to this on the stack, shoot them, and then if they draw extra, and then if they try to draw with it, then they're taking damage on their upkeep from the ring, and they're also growing our army token. Beseiju. All right, so we cannot attack them now. Bauble. I can't actually Bauble them, so I'll Bauble me. We're drawing Watery Grave. So I guess I just put Gigantha in my hand and pass. Do I Bauble them on upkeep? Nah, there's no reason. They don't have any hand disruption. It's better to just get what I get. Blue, white, red, green, Omnath, which I cannot kill, but I can heat it with the trigger on the stack. All right, so it resolves. Trigger on the stack, heat this. Then they draw and we get to Bowmaster them. All right, you're drawing with the ring in response, so we'll just keep shooting you. Then they're at 1, and I can't fetch. All right, BTL, Mystical Dispute, Flusterstorm. Oh, let's see what else. Probably Torok is immune to a lot of their removal, and it's just good to eat their stuff. Terminate for Omnath. Dress Down can stop Omnath's trigger. It also makes shadows huge. So what do I not want here? So even though they have the ring in Omnath, Orcish Bowmasters is kind of bad without anything to actually shoot with it. And it's not like their deck is drawing tons and tons of cards. They can just BTL and grab like whatever they need. It doesn't have to be a draw engine. So probably Bowmaster's out. And then what else? Ragavan on the draw against a deck with Renin 6 definitely comes out. And then they don't have anything that's boltable. The fact that they don't have anything that's boltable means I'm probably better off with Bowmasters than Bolt. All right, let's do that. Submit. Game 2 on the draw against BTL. Reveal Gigantha. All right, turn 1 Thoughtseize or Darcy into Thoughtseize, but probably just turn 1 Thoughtseize to take Renin 6 is a keep. Keep. Opponent plays Windswept Heath. Yeah, all right, so we've just got a Thoughtseize them on turn 1. Thoughtseize. What is in their hand? Yeah, there's the Renin 6, so we definitely take that and pass. And then they'll fetch, Triome, play the Heath. All right, so whatever we play first is getting bindinged. So let's just go Shock and Steam Vents and just flash Bowmasters in. They fetch. There's Breeding Pool, Stomping Ground, tapped, casting Grazer. Very well. So they get to play BTL next turn potentially. There's the Plains. All right, Bowmasters, shoot you. So they have Leyline Binding mana up, so we really need to draw pretty well. BTL, Leyline, 1 unknown. All right, Bobble, or do I play Darcy first? So the problem is if they play BTL, then they can just grab a sweeper and kill our board. But this is not presenting enough of a threat. All right, so let's go Darcy, then cast the Bobble, trigger Surveil. So they're casting Binding in response, sure. Take Darcy, Surveil a land to the graveyard. We definitely don't want that. Then Bobble resolves. And then if I Expressive Iteration, what am I going to hit? So let's target me. Getting a land. I don't want a land. So let's fetch and shock and grab Watery Grave. And then I probably can't afford to just not play Expressive Iteration right now. So let's do that. All right, so Spell Pierce to the hand, land to the bottom, this in exile, cast Bobble. All right, what are they drawing? They're drawing Teferi. And then we just attack them with both of these. All right. They're at 16. We get 2 Bobble draws. Breach is pretty good. So they have BTL, Teferi, 1 unknown. 1 unknown. So if they didn't draw a land, then they Binding on Bowmasters and then play Teferi, bounce the token. Okay. And now my Spell Pierce doesn't work with Teferi in play. Oh, okay. I can Thoughtseize BTL. So what can I do with Breach this turn? So I go Thoughtseize BTL, and then I have 7 cards in my graveyard. So then I can go... So it's probably best to just cast Expressive Iteration and try Breach later when I have more mana and more things to do. All right, Expressive Iteration. Ooh. So let's put Dispute in hand and Shadow in exile and then Thoughtseize them. Hand, bottom, exile. Fetch. Let's get the Watery Grave, shock that in. Thoughtseize them. Their hand is Endurance BTL, so let's take BTL and then cast Shadow and pass. All right, so they have an Endurance. So what do I Breach out here? Well, I reach out nothing because they just flash Endurance in. So let's just attack Teferi. Swing at Teferi. Block there. And then play this tapped. I don't see any reason to Breach when they're just going to flash Endurance in and hit everything anyway. All right. They are not casting Endurance. Arboreal Grazer. Well, that's another blocker. Then Teferi goes up to 3. Right? No, it's still at 2. Drown in the Lock doesn't work either. I guess, okay, so I can drown this. And then they have to block with Endurance if they want to keep Teferi alive. So kill that. I guess... Okay, let's say I drown them. Then they can Endurance their own graveyard so that drown doesn't kill it. If they do that, though, then I get access to Breach. Yeah, that might be the wiser course. So let's go drown the Grazer. All right, so they've just allowed it to happen. So now let's attack Teferi. All right, so they're just going to let Teferi die. All right, well, pass the turn. They fetch, get a forest. All right, so there's Endurance, and now I can just Mystical Dispute this. All right, what's their top deck? A land. All right, looking good. So, Dress Down makes this a 13-13. How can I kill them from here? I can go Breach, cast Expressive, or no, I can Breach Thoughtseize, and then they're dead? Yeah, right? So I go Dress Down. Oh, no. Because Dress Down's 13 regardless. So I'm probably casting Dress Down regardless of what happens. So if I go Breach EI, then I only have 1 mana left. And I go Shields down if I don't keep Spell Pierce up. So it's probably best to just go Breach, activate Bobble a million times. All right, let's do that. So Breach, then cast Bobble, exiling land, Thoughtseize, and then Bobble them. They're drawing an Endurance. All right, so cast Bobble, get rid of this, and this. Bobble, then cast Bobble again. This, and this. Bobble, what am I drawing? Unholy Heat. All right, let's just hit them. Yeah, swing, then Breach, and then we get a bunch of Bobble triggers. Draw. We can Dress Down Endurance in response if they do anything with it, or not. So yeah, they're just dead, right? All right, end step, Dress Down. 13-13. and go to combat, swing, and then they'll flash Endurance in, and then we just double heat it. Heat, heat. All right, we got there. On to round number 3. Round 3 on the draw, playing Shadow. Reveal Giganta. And Spell Pierce, Bolt, Breach, 4 lands. Not a very good hand. Let's mold this. Our opponent is revealing Giganta as well. Mulligan. I don't want to go to 5. We get 1 redraw. Ragavan may survive, but probably won't. We're playing against a Giganta deck. So if it's Tron, this is fine. If it's Shadow, this is bad. Going to 5 seems really rough. If I keep this, what am I putting back? I guess Drown or Bowmasters. All right, keep and put back the Bowmasters. Blood Crypt. All right, so it's Shadow. Thought sees us. Very well. They took Ragavan, so that tells me they don't have an answer to it. Well, no black mana, so let's Bobble. And then since they're a Thoughtseize deck, I don't want to do it now. I'll do it in their upkeep. So let's shock Steam Vents in and pass, and then Bobble them in their upkeep. They are drawing a Bobble. Steam Vents, Bobble. All right, then both the Bobbles go off in the upkeep. Can we draw a land? There's Ragavan. There's something that's not a land. All right, play Ragavan and then just pass. All right, they heat it. One plays EI. Delta plays Delta. Another Blood Crypt. Ragavan. All right, there's the second land. So let's go fetch, shock a Blood Crypt, and let's Thoughtseize them. Their hand's Breach, Pierce, Drown. So let's just take Breach so that they have the least value in their hand. And then let's kill that and pass the turn. They dash a Ragavan, so they just drew a Ragavan off the top. They hit us and they exiled a Shadow. Yikes. Fair and balanced magic. All right, well, I can try to drown that, but then they just still have Spell Pierce up anyway. So let's just pass. And then they'll probably dash Ragavan again, and then we go drown, and then they Spell Pierce back, and then we have to drown. There's Ragavan. So that's their hand. Swing, swing, and let's try to drown Ragavan. Spell Pierce. All right, so we go to 7 or more. Shock. We're almost dead here. We're at 4, and they have a Bolt. Oh, and they have the treasure, so now they have Drown. So they can just drown us back, and so yeah, we just got mana screwed out of this game. All right, game 2. So we're the mirror. So let's see. I don't want Ragavan against Bowmasters, but I guess I'm on the play. All right, so Terminate in. Is Hearse useful? Probably. I guess it is because they play Breach. So Hearse, EE, K-Com. Let's take Thoughtseize out. Torok in or not. See, Mystical Dispute is good for hitting other drowns. I'm 2 over. This cuts down on heat and stops the Breach endgame. While Ragavan is good on the play, it's not as good with Bowmasters almost assuredly in their deck. And EE also blows up our own guys, so we don't want maybe that many of them. So let's try that. All right, on the play. Reveal Giganta. All right, that's fine. Keep this, and then we'll upkeep them on the Bobble. All right, shock this in, play DRC, cast Bobble. Surveil, definitely want Bowmasters on top, so we'll leave that there. And then pass, and then Bobble on upkeep. They're drawing a Blood Crypt, sure. All right, Bobble, we draw the Bowmasters, then we draw for turn, it's Unholy Heat. All right, so shock and Watery Grave, and then let's just attack normally. Swing, and I guess we just wait. Now we just play the waiting game. I'm not even confident that I'm supposed to... Are they bobbling themselves? Yeah. I'm not even confident that I'm supposed to be attacking them in this matchup. I guess if this survives, we'll get to the point where it's like whoever casts their Bowmasters first is just the losing end of the spectrum. So if I go Bowmasters and they just go Bowmasters in response. So I want another land so I can kill their guy back. All right, so then they draw with the Bobble. Bolt. All right, play a land. Huh. Do I even keep attacking them here? I guess I just don't. Man, it's so awkward. So if I attack them and they flash Bowmasters in to kill Darcy, but they may not even do that. All right, let's just keep attacking them, whatever. Swing. They go to 16 and then we pass. All right, they're not fetching either. Now they're fetching. Shock in Blood Crypt. Go to 13. Playing Expressive Iteration, which I can't really respond to, so sure. Lightning Bolt in Exile. Now they just bolt this. So, okay, what am I doing? If I Bowmasters right now, they go to 10. I bolt them, they go to 7. But then I don't have a good follow-up, so they go to 5 when I attack. So do I bolt myself and Surveil? I'm bolting no matter what, because I want to Surveil to see what is going on in my deck. So I guess I have EE for 1. All right, let's bolt them. Nah, because then... But see, I'm going to 13 here, so then I can't get my Shadow into play. Even if I bolt myself and I draw a fetch land, then that just makes Shadow a 3/3, which dies to a bolt. I guess I can Bowmasters myself too. All right, so let's bolt myself, Surveil. All right, keep that on top. Then that resolves. All right, are they just bricking on the third, on the next land, I guess? Or not? No, they played the land this turn. All right, so now I Bowmasters myself. This is some weird magic. All right, hit myself. Then Delta, crack, go get Blood Crypt, shock it in, play Shadow, play EE for 1, and attack with these two. I do have Delirium. All right, they play a fetch land. So this ensures that if they play their shadows and their shadows are bigger than our shadow, that we can just pop them all. Drown our shadow, sure. Darcy, which we can pop. All right, let's go ahead and do that. Pop Darcy with EE. And now at this point, if I attack them, man, it's so rough. Okay, I guess I don't attack them anymore for the time being. Let's play a land. Let's get Gigantha. So if I attack them, they go to 7. They can fetch shock to 4, and then... So they can fetch shock to 6 right now, and then their Death Shadows are 7/7s, so I can't heat them anymore. So I should just attack. They may not even have Shadow. Like, I don't know. Darcy could have been just EE bait so that I would blow it up. They're just ahead on cards over us as well. This is an issue. All right, attack. Swing, swing. Opponent casts Expressive Iteration. Puts Unholy Heat in exile. Sure, heat the Bowmasters. All right, I'm going to fetch but not shock. So I have the mana for Gigantha. So let's grab... We've double black here. Steam Vents. All right, they have Drown mana. Ooh, Spell Pierce? Well, it's not going to get any better if I don't play Gigantha. So, okay, let's attack here. All right, Gigantha. They fetch, shocking in a Steam Vent. Or no, not shocking in a Steam Vents. Okay, so they have Drown. So they drown Gigantha. They are at 5, but with 4 cards in hand. Passing back to us and didn't put Gigantha in their hand either. Well, we're drawing nothing. So let's just keep swinging. Swing. All right, we connected. They're at 4. I have no reason to play this right now. Yeah, okay, so let's just pass. On an end of turn, bolts us. Okay, so if they have Breach or something, this could be really bad. So that's 2 bolts down already. Black. There's Breach. So if we Spell Pierce this, they have to pay for it. And then they only have 1 mana left. But then they can just get Bobble a million times. Whereas if they Breach, let's say they go Breach and then they go Bolt you. And then I let it resolve and they go Bolt you again. And then I go Spell Pierce that in response. And then they only have 1 mana left over and they've escaped a bunch of things. So they can't get Bobble as many times. So I think I just let this resolve, right? Yeah, so it resolves. So then they're bolting us. They bolt us again, Spell Pierce. So then they can escape Bobble once. Yeah. Then it's back to us. Then this goes away. Then they'll draw Bobble and upkeep. We drew our own Bobble. All right, cast Bobble. Bobble them. They're drawing Dress down. All right, attack them. Swing. And then play this tapped and go. So upkeep trigger. We draw Drown in the Lock. That's pretty good. Although they only have 3 cards left. DRC. All right. All right, let's heat that now. So they have Dress Down in hand and then a bunch of unknowns. Drown in the Lock, countering this. Let's let them surveil. All right. Do I just drown this back? If I drown it now, I can't pay for Mystical Dispute. Okay, yeah, so let's just... But I can pay for Spell Pierce. They don't necessarily have Mystical Dispute either. What would I even need to do on my turn that I need all this extra mana for? I guess Breach. So let's try drowning it now. All right, it died. Our turn. Another drown. All right, attack with the token. Swing. All right, opponent's at 2. Cycle Dress Down end of turn. Makes sense. Or second main, rather. Then Dress Down dies. And now back to them. Black, blue, Gigantha in hand. Plays a land. All right, we're on a knife's edge here. Upkeep. Land. Attack with the Orc. Swing. They're at 1. Pass the turn. So if they just play Gigantha, we can shoot it. Play Gigantha, counter it back. They can't fetch because they're at 1. Token gets there. Token got there. Wow. All right, what are we doing? Definitely don't want Ragavan on the draw. Torok in. I'm surprised they brought Dress Down in this matchup. So maybe just get rid of Ragavan. So maybe that is correct then. I would rather have EE. I guess Dress Down what? Counters the Bowmasters? What do I even take out for that? I think this is probably fine. Yeah, all right, submit this. Only 1 land is pretty rough. Yeah, I don't think I can keep this. All right, much more keepable. What am I pitching? I don't really want to pitch anything. How popular is this Grixis Breach deck right now? It's among the more played decks. Oh, what do I put back? Not a land. Not... It might be DRC, actually. But not having a turn 1 place feels so bad. Maybe it's Drown? I need Drown to kill Ragavan, if they still have it. Maybe I do just put a land back and then use Expressive to get the next land. All right, let's put Swamp back. Bloodstain Mire, Bobble. Another Bobble. All right, so they're bobbling us in our upkeep for some reason. Oh, they bobbled themselves the first time, I guess, to see if they wanted to fetch. So I can run DRC into a getting killed, potentially. Or I can just play EE on 1. It can't be correct not to play DRC. Like, if they have removal, they're going to kill it eventually. So Delta, fetch, and I want it to be black and red. And then I can get the other one. So Blood Crypt, play Darcy, and then just pass. Watery Grave, fetch, Blood Crypt. Opponent plays Bowmasters to kill our guy immediately. Yeah, well, that's unfortunate. Ooh, EE. All right, so let's just go fetch. All right, so this has to be blue, and I want it to be black, so later in the game I can cast Torok. So let's go shock this in. And then the only question is, do I just drown this now, or do I just play EE on 2? But then I'm paying 4 mana to blow up a 1/1. Seems so bad. All right, let's just kill this. And pass it back. Another Blood Crypt, Darcy. Well, if they have a counterspell, I think we're royally screwed because I need to resolve I need to resolve Expressive. All right, maybe I don't need to resolve Expressive. So let's just play Mire and then play EE on 1. They are drowning it very well. They surveilled to the top. Does not bode well. Okay. Well, EE for 1. And then pass, cast EI. So Darcy's delirious now. Get another land. Then they attack us. We go to 9. I'll fetch without shocking. All right, fetch. I still want it to be black, so I have insured triple black for Torok. So what is the best one to get? Is it Grave or another Crypt? It's probably Crypt, but I don't know. I could go EI and then like have blue open. Depends. I'll get Crypt. All right, it's our upkeep. There's Colligan's command. So I guess the problem is if I EI for a land and they just counter it, then we're just getting beaten in. So I just pass with E up and then kill Darcy in combat. Opponent fetches, puts Steam Vents in tapped. All right, this swing, let's pop E, and then we take 1 down to 7. Another land for our opponent. Shocking to 10. Plays Shadow. Puts Gigantha in their hand. Land for Torok. Yes. Fetch. Torok with kicker. So they can bolt this, of course, or heat it. They discarded Bolt Heat. They had Bolt and Heat in their hand, and they didn't just use it to shoot this? Huh. All right, well, terminate. So we're going to 2 here. So we go to 2. They have a Gigantha in their hand. Oh, no, they have a fetch shock, so we're dead. Yep. Well, that's that. On to round number 4. Round 4 on the play with Shadow. Reveal Gigantha. Darcy Rag 4 lands. Honestly, let's keep it. Opponent mulls a 6. All right. Delta, fetch, get Blood Crypt, and cast Ragavan. Opponent also plays Blood Crypt. All right. Bolts it. Thoughtseize them. What do you got? Actually, if I just run Darcy out, then I want to Surveil. Okay, so let's go Shock, Darcy, Thoughtseize, Surveil, land in the graveyard, resolve Thoughtseize, counterspell Archmage's Charm. Well, Archmage's Charm steals our stuff. This just counters our stuff. So they're Grixis Control. So, the problem is if I take counterspell to deny them the next draw, then they just Archmage's Charm to steal our stuff later. So let's just take Archmage's Charm. Play Xander's Lounge. They played Xander's Lounge tapped, so now we can just cast Expressive and Ragavan through it. All right. Surveil with Darcy. Put Thoughtseize. Honestly, we'll probably want that later. So leave that on top and then resolve Expressive. Okay, so Thoughtseize in the hand, Bolt on the bottom, this in exile, then cast Bauble. Darcy can be on top, sure. Then resolve the Bauble, then Bauble them. They're drawing Snapcaster Mage, so they have Snap Bolt next turn. Damn. Well, I guess I'm just running out Ragavan in that case. They're going to kill something, so may as well just get Ragavan on the field now. Shock, Ragavan, then go to combat with DRC. We drew Breach, so Tarn. All right, so let's go. What's in my graveyard right now? Just Thoughtseize, Expressive, Bauble. So I go Thoughtseize, they'll go in response, Snap Bolt. No way to get this Snapcaster off the field, unfortunately. All right, Thoughtseize you. Yeah, fetch in response. It's an island. And Snapcaster Mage. Targets Bolt. Breach on top. All right, let's just graveyard everything at this point. So resolve Thoughtseize. They have another Snapcaster Mage, so let's take that. So they're just going to bolt Darcy. So let's go. All right, Underworld Breach. Trigger Surveil. And now they'll probably want to. All right, graveyard that. They should probably do this now before I cast Bauble a bajillion times. All right, they're just not going to. Sure, cast the Bauble. Exile this, and this. Trigger Surveil. DRC into the graveyard. Then Bauble. Then Bauble. They're drawing Creeping Tar Pit. Bauble. Get rid of this, and this. Surveil. Graveyard. Actually, honestly, I'm just going to cast this other Darcy, so I should just do that now. I should have done it earlier. Fetch and Shock. Steam Vents. So I go what? 3 of these Darcy. Then I don't have enough. Yeah, so I needed to do it earlier. So instead, I guess we're just going to play Shadow then. So Blood Crypt, Shock, Bauble, and then 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3. Graveyard, Bauble, cast Bauble again, Bauble. All right, swing with both of these. They're not going to block. All right, Ragavan trigger. Take your Tar Pit, and then I'll play Shadow. Pass. So what? They're going to bolt me and then try to find a removal spell for Shadow, I guess. Bunch of baubles go off. Darcy, Thoughtseize, Drown, Expressive. And his counterspell, Tarn 1 unknown card. They just happen to draw Bolt. Okay. So Flusterstorm, I guess Dress Down stops Snapcaster Mage from working. Definitely want Torok to make them discard stuff. Hearse for the graveyard. Mystical Dispute. And Kolaghan's Command's probably fine. And then what is bad? So they're playing Grixis Control, which means they probably have Bowmasters in their deck. So that makes Ragavan not good, especially if they also have Archmage's Charm to steal it. They might have Jace, but they might not have Jace. I don't really want Unholy Heats in that case. Let's see. One of the baubles and what else? And they're a counterspell deck, so I want to keep Thoughtseize in. One Darcy. Submit. Reveal Giganta. This hand is pretty terrible, so let's mull this. All right, that's a better hand. Keep, and what am I putting back? It's going to be a while to cast Torok with this hand, but it is a good later game play. But I think for now I probably just have to bin Torok. All right, so bin Torok, and we're good. So bauble ourselves. Drawing Drown. I guess I do want Drown, but this mountain is just such a problem. All right, pass to the opponent. They play a Delta. All right, I'm just going to run Hearse out. Let's go get Watery Grave, play Hearse, and pass to the opponent. They fetch, get Xander's Lounge. So these are kind of anti-synergistic, but what can you do? I can't even cast Drown right now anyway, so all right, eat that. Well, not a land, it's another Drown, so let's cast the Eye and hope it doesn't get countered, but it will. I can't believe they didn't counter that. All right, let's, I don't even want Shadow, I just want lands. So hand, bottom, exile, play this, and pass to them. Opponent fetches, gets Watery Grave, and shocks it in. Cast into the fire. All right, fetch, grabbing Watery Grave, spell pierce that. They brought in Cast into the Fire for our artifact graveyard hate. All right, at this point, I don't think I'm supposed to drown them anymore. I'm supposed to not touch their graveyard because of drown. So they shocked in this land. Kolaghan's Command, shatter, and discard. All right, what am I discarding here? I guess Bowmasters, probably. Yeah, Bowmasters. All right, Darcy, and I guess shock this in. Pass the turn. Castle Locthwain. Ooh, Underworld Breach. All right, let's go attack with Darcy. All right, I'm not going to cast Breach right now. I guess, okay, what if I do cast Breach right now? Then I flashback Bauble once, twice. I don't quite have enough to do it a bunch of times. It's probably better than not doing anything, though. No, I get to do it 3 times because I surveil with the Darcy. All right, so let's do Breach. So surveil trigger, Darcy into the graveyard, finish getting Underworld Breach into play, hopefully. Yep. All right, so let's cast this other Darcy and get rid of land, EI, Bloodstained Mire. Cast Darcy, and then cast Bauble, getting rid of the other cards. Then we surveil twice. All right, graveyard, graveyard, and Bauble resolves. Bauble them. They're drawing Hearse, okay. And can't do it anymore, so then we just pass. Breach. Oh, they have Bowmasters. And then the Baubles are going to trigger a bajillion times on this thing. Yeah. No, I only got 1 Bauble, right? But it still is going to shoot this, and then they're going to Hearse the Delirium out of our graveyard. Use Spell Pierce, but that's not going to help. Oh, they're just shooting us. All right. Another land. Tapped. Hearse. Yep. They can pay for it, so it resolves. We attack here. That's fine. No, they're just going to... All right. We take 2 to 9. So they 100% can just get this stuff out of our graveyard, right? We've got all these different types. So let's just be smart about this. Let's go Thoughtseize. Okay, so no, if I do that, then this mountain is screwing me up here. So I kill Bowmasters off, attack them, and then I need to hold up Spell Pierce probably. I guess let's just Thoughtseize them. Surveil. Expressive Iteration on top. We'll keep that. Resolve Thoughtseize. Hidetsugu, Stern Scolding, Snapcaster Mage. I guess I'm taking Snapcaster. All right, take Snapcaster. Now what? So I have 4 card types. Hearse can eat Breach plus Bauble, and then I have Sorcery Creature, and that's it. And they trades with the Bowmaster. If I drown the Bowmaster right now, then next turn they just play Hidetsugu, blow up my guy, but they also blow up their own token. So that might be acceptable. All right, so let's drown this. Still keep this on top. All right, attack with Darcy. So Hearse, they shrink it. They only take 1. And then back to us. Then we get hit by the Orc. All right, they played nothing. So let's go Expressive Iteration, trigger Surveil, Flusterstorm, not going to be useful. Put that in the graveyard. Resolve Expressive. All right, so what am I doing here? I 100% do not want Thoughtseize. I guess I'm getting Drown, and I'm drowning this token. So let's put Expressive in hand, this on the bottom, this in exile, and then let's drown the token. Shadow on top, then attack with Darcy. All right, they go to 9. Curse eats some stuff. They have the Bowmasters. Come on. So they shoot us, they crew the hearse, we die. All right. It's like I Thoughtseize them and they just always have the one card that I didn't get the next turn. All right, you got us. On to the 5th and final round. Sorry guys, I don't know if I'm playing badly today or what. I'm very tired from yesterday. All right, reveal Giganta. We're on the draw. I don't have any black mana in this hand. Amazing. Mulligan. Opponent also reveals Giganta. The 3rd Giganta player we're playing today. All right, keep that. What am I putting back? Basic Swamp. All right, it's an Urza deck. It's Tron. So slam Ragavan. Fetch. Grabbing Blood Crypt. Cast Ragavan. And pass the turn. And we gotta hope to get some actual spells that can interact with them pretty soon. Long stream yesterday. I missed the end. I was streaming for 17.5 hours. So yeah, long. Ancient Stirrings. Yep. All right. So they either have it next turn or they have it in 2 turns from now. Ooh, Drown in the Lock. But that's not going to help with how expensive their stuff is. So attack with Ragavan. Swing. Treasure, exiling Chromatic Star. All right, let's go land, fetch, shock in. I guess it doesn't matter which, but let's just get Steam Vents. Shock this in, and then let's go Darcy, cast Chromatic Star off the treasure. Double Surveil. EI on top. Do I have time to even play that? I think I just need to have counter spells from now on, right? Graveyard. This resolves past the turn. All right, so they have to map for it, but Drown in the Lock only has 3 things. 3 mana. Relic of Progenitus. Well, never mind. They just pop it in instantly. Okay. All right, let's cycle this for red. Unholy Heat. So I'd have to heat my own guy in order to do that. Oh, what do I do here? All right, play Darcy. Play a land. And then I guess just get in. Swing. All right, opponent takes 4. Ragavan triggers. We exile the land. So just pass. All right, Tron. How badly are we getting smoked? 9 mana. Playing the ring. All right, so let's go fetch, grab, Watery Grave, shock this, cast Bowmasters, target you, and then ring resolves. I don't even know what I could draw into to not lose at this point. Karn. All right. Karn pluses on the ring to make it an indestructible creature. Okay. And now they can't activate it. All right, so I need to surveil, so let's go heat the Karn. Oh, I can't activate the treasure. I need to do that in response. All right, so stop on my upkeep. So let's heat Karn, then get all these surveil triggers and try to find Delirium. All right, graveyard, bolt on top. So that would put this to 4, and then the bolt still doesn't do it. But bolt in the graveyard also doesn't add up to a lot. If I bolt it, then it's at 1, and then I can just attack with 2 creatures. What 2 creatures am I attacking with? Token and the Bowmasters, I suppose. What else am I getting if I'm not getting bolt? Like Underworld Breach or something? I guess I can still kill Karn anyway, right? I just attack Karn with everything. All right, so let's graveyard that. Another Bowmasters. All right, sure, let's leave that on top. So then heat resolve, then draw the Bowmasters, and then we go combat. So attack Karn with everything except for, so Darcy token, and then do I want Bowmasters or Ragavan alive more? I think I want the Bowmasters alive more. Actually, no, I don't even have to do that, right? I can just not attack with these, and then I can Bowmasters to finish it off. So swing. They block Darcy, and then I just Bowmasters to finish it off. Yeah, all right. So block Darcy, and then Bowmasters. All right, Karn dies, pass the turn. And they untap with, 9+ mana and whatever else they have. Forest. Ugin. Yep, that's game. All right, Tron. Torok to make them discard. Flusterstorm hits Sylvan Scrying and nothing else. Mystical Dispute is not good either. Colligan's Command to blow up the map. What else can I even do? Flusterstorm literally just hits Sylvan Scrying and no other spells in their entire deck. So yeah, I just have to race them, right? Bowmasters is okay with the ring in play, and I guess it triggers on their eggs, but that's it. Heat is only good if I'm killing their planeswalkers off. If their planeswalkers have resolved, I'm already losing the game. So not that. Same deal with Bolt. Although this can finish them off. All right, let's just not bother with Mystical Dispute, and let's just do that. Submit. Dress Down might have been good to get Shadow in really fast. Maybe these were worth bringing in over Bolt. All right, game 2 on the play gets Tron. Reveal Giganta. Only 1 land is not going to cut it, so mull this. All right, land, Bauble, Spell Pierce, Expressive Shadow. Keep, what am I binning? Probably Torok. All right, done. And then do I want to fetch or not? Bauble, myself. Drawing Bowmasters. I don't really want a Bowmasters, so let's just fetch Watery Grave. Then pass, Bauble trigger, drew Underworld Breach. All right, so now I'm just going to Spell Pierce anything they play probably. Power Plant. Yeah, just kill that. Bauble, What are they drawing? Karn. All right, I can't just not play anything this turn, so shock this in, cast EI. That's rough. What is the most likely thing for me to want to play next turn? Drown in the Loch, probably. I don't even have Delirium with Darcy. All right, put this in my hand, put this in the bottom, this in exile, and then just pass. All right, we drew our third land. That helps. Oh, there's the second Tron piece. There's Chromatic Sphere. All right, I can get Death Shadow on the board at least. Fetch, shock, and a Blood Crypt. And then Breach is not really worth it right now. I only get to get a bauble one time, so let's just play Shadow and then have Drown up, although Drown is only one card in the graveyard, so doubtful that it's any good. All right, they just have Natural Tron. Karn, which we can't counter. Oblivion Stone, also can't counter that. Karn plus on Oblivion Stone. Okay, well, back to us. I can't activate Bauble with Karn in play. Wow, I'm just getting nothing. I can Breach for Expressive, and that's it. So I attack, they just block with the O-Stone, I guess. They don't even have to, because I can only put Karn to 2. All right, land, attack Karn. Swing at Karn. Blocking, at least they blocked. Let's go grab Steam Vents, shock. Then the O-Stone dies. Then what? Breach, nothing, and we're shields down. So what do I hope? That they like cycle this and they try to play something that costs 3 and we drown it? I guess. Pass to the opponent. So cycle the sphere. Plays Ancient Stirrings. I guess that resolves. It puts a 4th card in the graveyard, so now we can counter the ring. They find a tower. There's a second tower. Ugin. Yep, that'll do it. What a disaster. All right, Shadow. So I don't think this is a bad deck, but I feel like it's just doing something worse than what Scam is doing. A lot of times, Shadow is just not actually online, and there's also a lot of times where your opponent is also racing you to some degree, and then there's a lot of tension between whether you should be shocking or letting your opponent hit you. You have to take weird lines like bolting yourself sometimes, and sometimes that just fails and then you die anyway. And the upside of a big Death Shadow, to me, seems to pale in comparison to the upside of like Grief and Fury on turn 1, getting a 4/4 double strike or double thought seizing your opponent. Also, although the Breach plan can be good if you have enough fodder to get baubles multiple times or bolt your opponent out. A lot of times I feel like Murktide would just be better than this. And also Drown in the Loch is very awkward, as shown in that last match where sometimes it just actually doesn't do anything. And then of course, so without Murktide in the deck, you have Shadow and then you have a bunch of X1s. Now Darcy can be bigger than an X1, but a lot of times all of these are just X1s and they just die to Bowmasters. So a lot of times you wind up running out of threats.